see the screen, so I don't know when it comes on.
It's on. Yeah, we do it every time. Okay, as long as the iPad doesn't fall.
Hello.
Hi! Welcome to our weekly Wednesday
Talk.
talk.
A friend of mine just called it Mama Wednesday or Mama's Wednesday. I thought that was kind of cool.
Oh, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. Or Wednesday Wisdom. Or,
Wicked warrior.
Mama's Wednesday is kind of nice because I'm your mama and you're a mama and we're talking to mamas but we're talking to more than just mamas, but yeah.
Big daddies and no. To everybody, whatever, that's good. So welcome on our Wednesday. We still don't really have a topic, but we thought we could kind of develop it through some of the stuff we were already just talking about. And she told me just to start talking.
I kind of left it, threw the ball in your court, you start.
Dan has laughing, and I'm assuming that it has to do with the Wicked Woman Wednesday, or the Big Daddies, probably, actually. Okay, so anyways, we were talking about so many things, like being in this winter and that it transitioning into summer, or spring, I'm so sorry, which is kind of like a new beginning, so we kind of touched on that. And we were also talking, we pulled our cards beforehand, and my mom got a card on kind of manifesting and what we put out, what we want is what we should put out and stuff like that. And so how it kind of all ties together is pretty important. So I thought we could start about right now. We're kind of in this exhausted energy state of winter. Yes, we have a little sunshine for the first time in a while, but it isn't really enough because we're in the end of February, and a lot of people, whether you suffer with seasonal affective disorder or you don't, you feel it. Mm-hmm. And it's tough. Like right now is really, really super tough. But we see the glimpse, like a couple days is March, and March feels like spring. Yeah. And it feels like a new beginning.
Right.
So what I started saying is, like, if I'm a tree right now, I have no real outer beauty. Mm-hmm. It's waiting to manifest and grow, and with the new year really starts in the spring, right? Like new growth and rebirth, and the tree has no idea
that it's bare right now and that it's,
that this external beauty is coming.
Right.
And to trust that, it just does it, through nature. And I feel the energy shifting from this cold, dark, kind of tough place where we're all just kind of trying to make it through to this next cycle of rebirth, regrowth, relife.
Beginnings.
Mm-hmm. And that's kind of exciting. So it's kind of a time where we, instead of hating our lives, which kind of happens at this time of year, like it's hard to get out of bed, it's hard to do stuff, it's hard to motivate yourself, and maybe we don't have to.
Right.
Maybe it's happening for us and with us.
Right. And we have to be willing to let go some of the endings and where we're at right now, be willing to let that go because we do have things coming our way and trusting that. And sometimes, at least for myself, I fight that. And, right now, from what you're saying, like you said, a lot of people are probably experiencing this, but I know for myself, I really struggle with the seasonal stuff. And so my energy has been really low today. So I've been, really trying to bring that up a little bit, and yet at the same time, like you're saying, I think it's just a matter of letting myself experience that, and instead of fighting it and trying to think, okay, well, what do I need to do, is just kind of allow it, because like you said, it's already happening. Mm-hmm. It's already in process, and spring will be here eventually. I don't know when, but it will be here. And it will feel different and it'll feel better. So
yeah, and it's happening as we speak, and that's something I posted about the other day too, is struggle with. It's like just trusting that things are in motion. even when they feel like they're not.
Right. It feels stagnant. It feels, it's kind of like, kind of corny, but, I'm looking outside right now and I see, the grass trying to peek through the snow. And, I know that's kind of corny, but it is very much like that. It's like, even though the snow is covering the ground and right now it looks pretty bleak, the grass is very brown but there's stuff happening under there, so that in the spring things are going to bloom and it is going to turn green and so remembering that and trusting that and letting that kind of help as we're feeling some of this other stuff right now.
And something you tell me all the time is nothing ever stays the same. It's always moving, even at a cellular level. Even when we're sleeping, things are happening and energy's shifting and moving everywhere in everything at every minute. So it is bringing about change.
Even when it doesn't feel like it, even when it feels like it's standing still and nothing is happening and there's no movement and it's just that it's happening at a level that we're not either aware of or, it's
focused on.
Or it's not fast enough for us.
Oh, yeah, always. Let's go, people, everywhere for me.
Yeah, it's like, why isn't this moving faster? Why isn't spring here already, And just allowing that. I guess that's what I was trying to say earlier about allowing it and just accepting that spring will be here. And, flowers will bloom again and all of that. It's just that it's going to happen in the time, not in our time, in God's time, in nature's time, in the universe's time, and trusting that it will happen. And so, using that in our lives, our day-to-day lives, and when your energy is low and when you aren't feeling at your best, and I struggle to make myself get up and do things as simple as making the bed or
Wait, people do that? No. No, just kidding.
Sometimes that's, which is funny because before we moved into this house a year ago, I didn't care about making my bed all the time. But I think because of the way our house is set up, if people are in my kitchen and living room, they can see my bed. So now, between my husband and I, we make the bed every day. Very rare that we don't. And so that, anyways, it's a side note, but yeah, it's funny.
A lot of motivational things that I've been a part of or leadership things say making your bed is the number one most important thing to do to have a productive day.
Well, I think
it takes time.
It does take time, and I think that especially as a mom of young kids and you're trying to get everybody out the door, it's probably not your top priority. And I can see that, and I'm with you on that, and I never used to, and that growing up. My bed was never made. Well, your dad was getting into it when I was getting out of it.
So didn't have to.
He worked nights, but so yeah, I think whatever that is that you have to get up and do, whether it's getting up and getting the kids ready for school, whether it's getting up and making my bed, it's not always easy to do. And, so recognizing and believing that, okay, it's going to get better, it's going to be spring and I'm going to be anxious to get up and make my bed and get out on my patio and have my coffee out there rather than sitting inside.
And when you just said that, it's like celebrating your accomplishments because for everybody it's different, and an example, you get up, you made your bed, you made your coffee, everything that you've done, it could be celebrated as great job. You pushed through that and you did that and really honor yourself in that if that is hard, whatever that is hard for everybody. And we don't do that. We beat ourselves up because we didn't do XYZ more.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's, whoa, but you didn't do this. Or you put an Uncrustable in Caden's lunch and he hates those, but I didn't want to make a sandwich.
And at least he had food. He gets to eat.
He probably will throw it or leave it in there like he did yesterday, and it's not the same one, I promise.
Or he could trade it.
he could trade it. See, we're looking for creative children. We're not looking for, or buy your own lunch. You have money on your account. I just didn't feel like it.
Yeah.
So I could have beat myself up. I actually think it's hilarious, and we're using it as a topic. And like, I made it my kids' lunch,
Right.
and I did everything that I was supposed to do.
Yeah, and you know what? If you don't do it, that's okay too.
Right.
And that's the thing, is finding that balance, because you know what? If for some reason, it doesn't happen often, but if for some reason I just really can't make my bed and my husband's not around to make it, it's okay to give myself permission to not make it for today. And
Lay in it and make a snow angel, man.
so yeah, it's like that balance of, again, I think just trusting that that's not going to be like that every day.
Mm-hmm.
It
reminds me of when I was little and you told me about the story about the coat and like picking your battles. So like you pick your battles with your children, you pick your battles with yourself. You know?
Absolutely.
Are you gonna beat yourself up over not making your bed or over not packing a quality lunch for your child? Or are you going to wait till it's something that you really need to fight yourself on?
Right.
Like things that are for your safety or your health or for your, like things that really you need to feed your dog.
Right. Right.
You know what I mean? Like, well, maybe she'll catch a mouse or something, but you know what I mean? Like there are certain things that then, don't even beat yourself up about it, but like
save your energy for those things that really, really are critical and do matter in the big picture. And I have to, tell the coat story now that you brought it up.
Yes, it's a good one.
It doesn't really go with what we're talking about, and yet at the same time, I think it was one of the most important lessons. I can say one of the most important lessons as a mom of children. And Christy,
This one.
being my oldest.
We love you too, Katie. We need a Roomba bed maker. Yes, we do. There's your new invention.
I love it.
Yeah, like a pool cover. You hit the button and it goes. Anyway, sorry. So, Coach story, going back.
Okay, so anyways, I think it doesn't pertain necessarily to our topic, and yet I think it's worth sharing, at least in my mind, because it was such an aha moment for me. And like I was starting to say, Christy being the oldest, I learned a lot of my parenting, she was the guinea pig. And I don't remember what grade it was. I want to say
Second or
third maybe. Christy had to have this yellow coat. She had to have it.
Of course, yellow.
It was bright yellow. And she had to have it. And money was always very tight for us. So if we bought you something new, you better use it, And so we got her the yellow coat. And she wore it at first very proudly. She was very excited until I believe somebody at school said,
I don't even remember.
you
that
look
part.
like a school bus or something.
Oh, maybe. Or
Yeah.
Big Bird.
Yeah,
Something. I don't remember.
But anyway, somebody said something, and now all of a sudden she's not wearing her coat. And I'm not going to go out and buy a new coat. Okay, I can't. That's just not the situation that we were in. And it became a daily battle. Every day I fought with her to put this coat on. Almost where it became a physical struggle. It was like, you are going to wear that coat. So then I found out that as soon as she got to where I couldn't see her, she took it off and shoved it in her backpack.
Right behind the apartment
Complex, yeah. As soon as I couldn't see you.
Yeah.
And so, I finally decided, why am I fighting this? What's going to happen? And I realized mainly what was going on, this power struggle that we were having, was because I didn't want to look like a bad mom. I didn't want you to go to school and be cold. It was winter. And be cold, and the teachers think, oh my God, what kind of mother does she have that she's not making her wear her coat or whatever. So I was afraid of judgment, and I was, looking like that bad mom, and I didn't want that. So I thought, you know what? That is such a small part of the big picture. I mean, it's not that important. What's gonna happen? You're gonna get cold. And as soon as I gave up that struggle and I did not make her wear that coat, it probably didn't even take a day.
I
All
had
of
it
a sudden,
on.
she had that coat on. Because no longer was it a struggle, a control issue, and I think you figured it out. It's cold out here. I
Right.
don't wanna be cold. I have a perfectly good coat, I'm gonna put it on, and so, again, I don't know that I can even tie that in, even if I tried, but it's picking those battles and knowing, you know, where you want to focus that energy.
Mm-hmm.
And recognizing that maybe, you know, the energy I'm putting into, whether it's fighting with you over a coat or whether it's fighting with myself about making a bed, is where do I want to put that energy and where do I want to, I don't know, yeah, put that energy.
Yeah, and it reminds me, so I learned this lesson from my mom a long time ago, and a lot of people judge me because I'm too laid back of a mom. Because I don't care. If you don't want to wear shoes, I'll carry you on my back. If you don't want to wear a coat, don't wear your coat. Okay, so people really have a hard time with this, and I think, I don't care what people think about me. Okay, so Kaya is my youngest, and I'm like, you don't want to wear a coat, that's totally fine. You know, she has her coat, I'm like, just put it in your bag so you have it, because if you do need it. I was past that stage, except for she went to the school nurse and told her she had no coat
Oh.
to get a coat that she wanted to wear.
Oh.
So now I realized this nurse is judging me that my kid doesn't have a winter jacket. So it was like I still had the issue, and so it's totally separate. I don't even know how to get to the topic, but like, how do you, so I don't want to be judged. I'm trying to honor my child, and like, she'll figure it out. If she's cold, she has her coat, she can wear it, but she figured out a way.
She did figure it out.
She did.
It's just not in a way that you want it to be
Well,
reflected, I guess.
so now I'm like, is this nurse think that my kid doesn't have a winter jacket in the middle of winter? Does she think I have no money to buy my kid a jacket? Does she think that I'm not parenting? Like, so I actually still have those triggers.
Yeah.
Even though I think I'm being, you know, like, picking my battles.
Yeah, but you know what, that could be a whole other topic, because really, you know, what I would say to that, I guess, is ask you, in that whole picture, in that situation, what's the important part of that for you? You know
For
what I
me
mean?
or for Kaya?
Well, for both, really. For you as a parent of Kaya, I mean, what really, and like I said, this is a whole different, we're really getting off topic, but that's okay.
We'll bring it back.
Oh, maybe.
For me,
Yeah. In that
I
whole
just need to
situation.
not worry about what they think about
Is that
it.
really what's important, though? Think about
What's
the-
important is my child will solve her own situation. I mean,
Yeah.
Kaya will always come up with a solution for herself, no matter, for the best interest of her.
Right.
And that's what we want our kids to do.
Yeah.
Regardless of how it impacts or looks.
Yeah, I'm hearing that, and I'm also, you know, it's, I don't want this to sound judgmental. It's probably and not unhealthy. What word am I looking for? Let's drop it.
We'll come back to it, but that'll be
because yeah, that's a whole other thing. And yeah, but anyways, as a parent, anyways,
So back to the focus.
right, where do we want to focus our energy? And especially right now when energy is so low for a lot of people. And being kind enough to yourself to not beat yourself up on where you're not putting your energy, and instead recognizing that you are doing the things that need to be done. You are being a mother. You are, doing the things that you're responsible for, and trusting that things are going to get better, because the sun is going to come out and the snow is going to melt and flowers are going to bloom.
Yeah, and everything is moving and in place. And you use the word before time, and like time doesn't matter. Like how, when, or, you know, when will this be? We don't know. Like everything just comes and flows naturally, right? So the when isn't really important. It's just keeping the focus on that it is moving in that direction, because then you can celebrate every little step towards it. Opposed to when is it spring? Well, spring might still look like this when it's supposed to be spring. You know?
Because the calendar says it's spring doesn't mean that, you know, we're going to be experience it in the way that what we hope for spring and you know, so yeah.
Do you want to talk about your card that you got? This is a little. Hold tight. She's gonna talk about her card.
The card I pulled today is manifestation. If you could, that's my stuff. Oh, sorry. If you could have anything you wanted, what would it be? Get specific and get greedy. You are holding a magic wand and you can conjure up anything. Could it be that when you declare your wishes out loud, you're actually casting a spell for your dreams to come true? Or is it just that in a very practical sense, the more people you speak with about your desires, the more folks there are who know what you want and might have the means to help you make them happen? Either way, stop waiting and start manifesting. But don't use that word if you don't want to. So, manifesting. And they say not to use that word if you don't want to, because I think it's been overused. So, and it also can conjure up some negative thoughts too when you talk about manifesting. But
even the magic wand idea, it's like
but putting out there what you want and speaking your desires, that part of it, at least to me, is what it's about. Is we have to put out what we want back. And so, you know, you had a good example earlier before we got on here live. You said something about, well, I don't have the money for that. And he said, oh, wait, I just put that out there. Because we don't want to put out things out there that we don't have or we don't want. Because, you know, that's going to come back to us in not a positive way. So we want to put out there what we want, what our dreams are, or what our goals are. And the more we put it out there, the universe is going to respond. Now it says, you know, maybe somebody can help you get your dreams. I don't know about that. I don't know that I'm looking for somebody to help me, but I guess it's kind of like being in the right place at the right time. Like if you're talking about something with your business and wanting to expand your business and talking about different opportunities, and you happen to be talking to the right person at the right time, or somebody hears you and they have an opportunity for you, or have the same desire and think, hey, let's network, let's get together on this and make this happen. So I guess, you know, the more you talk about it, it's however the universe responds. It may not be in the way that it, you know, you expect it to look, but it can come back.
Yeah, and whatever energy you put out, that's what you're telling it.
Right.
And that's what's going to happen, and that's what you're going to get. So, you know, it's just like low vibrational negative energy. If everything always sucks, that's what you're going to get, you know?
Right.
And the same thing with positive. And so I think when it means like somebody else helping you, it's just circumstance, you know? And it's a tool. And if you believe in angels and guides and, you know, working in the universe, working in your favor, it's going to use any tools that it can.
Right.
You know, so it could be a human, it could be a dog, it could be a situation, you know, and then that is probably what it means, is if you're speaking it out, there's more opportunity for it to come back through those different tools, you know, and not that, oh, if somebody has to save me, kind of like what you're thinking, I need somebody to give me my goal.
Right. Right.
But they are also just tools in moving in that direction of things moving.
Right, that it could come from
anywhere.
And like I said, it may not look like you think it's going to look, but it'll come to you, you know, in one way or another. And to kind of tie that into our topic and maybe kind of wrap things up a little bit, you know, we're talking about winter coming to an end and spring beginning, and so endings and beginnings. And you know, I know we both follow ICU Wellness, and the way she had put it earlier this week is about you know, it's almost like a new year. And so looking back at the last couple of months and the goals that you maybe set at the beginning of this year in January, you know, assessing that and kind of looking back at what have you accomplished, or where are you at with those goals? Do you want to reevaluate those, and do you want to put out some intentions for this new year starting in spring, you know, the new beginnings of what you want?
And how do those things feel right now? You know what I mean? Like the things that you did think about in January, and how are they feeling now? Because you have had 2 months to start to look at them and maybe move them forward, maybe not. Maybe they don't even apply, you know?
Right. And so maybe that's some of the endings that you would experience right now at this time of year, when things are kind of like, this is like the endings of letting go that, you know what I thought I wanted, or you know, what I said at the beginning of the year is now not really working for me, and being willing to let go of that. And what is it do you want then as this new spring, this new life starts? What do we want? So what do we want to put out there that we want to come back to us? And I think this is a good time of year to do that, and maybe that's a way, this low energy, we can kind of start to transform that a little bit, because, you know, yes, that's where we're at today, and that's okay. And at the same time, we can look at, what do we want it to evolve, or how do we want it to evolve? What do we want it to look like as spring comes?
And a lot of people, at least from what I struggle with and like listening to other people, have a hard time dreaming about it. Like even thinking about the great things that could happen, because all the negatives start popping in. Well, I could never do that, or that's, you know, well, that's not for me, or I'm trying to think of examples, you know. But so it's like this card says, like, dream as big as you can.
Yeah.
You know, now's the time when it's still winter, still cozy, and come up with the coolest, most amazing things, and just keep talking about it, because it's moving for us, and it could just spark it, a new conversation or a new movement in that direction. I have to remember this myself as I'm saying it. Like, yes, this stuff is all falling into a beautiful plan, you know, for
Just
us.
because we talk about it doesn't mean we've got it all figured out.
Oh, heck no. This is what we're going to try to do moving into spring.
And that's why we talk about it. We try to talk on a regular basis about these things, because it does help to clarify some of that with each other and share our thoughts, and not necessarily always agree, but be open to considering it in a different perspective, and also putting our perspective out there for other people to just kind of at least consider, and not necessarily take that on as your truth.
Yeah.
But it kind of ignites that thinking, and that maybe other discussions that will spark for you. And we would love to know how you guys feel about any of the things we talk about, or what your experience is, or, you know, again, ask questions or make suggestions of what we can talk about in the future. And, you know, we love doing this, and if there's a value out there for anyone, then, you know, we want to know that, you know, what you would want to see from us, but we're going to do it regardless, whether anybody shows up or not.
Oh, because it's amazing. Yeah.
It's because it's great for us, and it's something that we do anyways, and it benefits us, and we just pray that we're putting this out into the universe, and that if it affects even one person, then I'm grateful.
Yeah, it's part of the moving energy. You know, this is just the frequency and energy we're putting out.
Right.
And that's just adding to the change into the spring. I mean, it is, you know, and
Absolutely.
if that one little push moves one more thing, it's exactly what's supposed to happen, you know?
Absolutely.
On this freezing cold, snowy Wednesday. Yeah, so I feel like that's pretty good. We did good today.
Yep.
A lot of topics in one, but
But
that's
I think
good.
one central theme, and
Yeah.
we try not to go off too much, and hope that we keep you all with us through, you know, the whole thing. But I hope you got whatever you're supposed to get from this.
Yeah.
You know.
So have a happy
Wednesday.
a week of just being nice to yourself and celebrating your the things you are doing and looking forward to what's coming.
Yep.
Right? What do we say? Peace out.
Peace out.
Thank you for watching.
Thank you again. Bye, everybody. Save it.